In today's Leeds news, no PSR danger, Gruev on the falling apart again theory, another keeper linked to Leeds, new head of North recruitment, and Jed York speaks on Rangers and Leeds purchases. Morning folks, Jay here to view Thursday morning, the 3rd of April, week of Leeds United news. Hope you're having a good week so far. There's a lot of stuff to get stuck into today, some chunky stuff. I've left some of the more fluffy, rumoury, linked player stuff out of today's news because I know everyone's getting a little bit tired of it right now, so unless there's major credibility on it, we won't cover it. There's one story today. There will be obviously some announcement at the end of this week around a charity game that myself and the other Leeds United content creators are taking part in. You may have seen some stuff on live. Online, I'll have Joe Blackburn around by the back end of the week to give you more detail on that and how you can get involved if you want to. But let's start off with the news and we'll talk about the potential PSR danger that Leeds may have or may not have been in after the publishing of the financial results for this year. We did say we'd reach out to Kieran Maguire, but Kieran Maguire will actually be on the Orta Know Better podcast tonight at 7:30 to discuss this with Luke and the guys. You can check that out. The link will be down in the description for that video, so you can go over and watch that at 7:30 tonight. I will be doing the exact same. So, where are we with this? There's some short-term detail on this that Isaac Johnson has pulled together after talking to finance expert Dr. Dan Plumley about this situation, and Leeds had been praised by Dr. Plumley for being in no danger of breaching PSR or the FFP rules, with the club in a position to weather the failure to win promotion to the Premier League last season, and may actually still be in a good position to weather missing out on promotion to the Premier League this season should the absolute worst case scenario happen. Leeds announced losses of £61 million for their first year back in the Championship, and revenue went down a significant amount, but down by 33%. On the revenue and the full topic, Dr. Dan Plumley said the following on the situation. If you look at the averages, a non-parachute payment club, some of them will be in and around the 25 to 30 million revenue mark. You'll have some kind of floating around the 50 to 60 million mark that have perhaps had some parachute payments, and Leeds fall into that category. The revenue line is always going to be higher. It's well above the Championship average, and that's a testament again to some of the things where they can enable them to keep hold of their players for a promotion push. So yeah, in the context of the Championship, it's a very high revenue line, but ultimately as well, of course, boosted by the parachute payments. Dr. Plumley went on to talk about this season and what would it be like for Leeds financially should we miss out on promotion. And he said the following: even if they don't get promoted this year, they'll still have a third year worth of parachute payments, which will support them financially for a little bit longer. Listen, promotion is really important for sure. The club obviously wants to get back to the Premier League to be able to push on with some of their plans. The promotion is important for lots of reasons: revenue, money, growth of the club, as well as trying to avoid a fire sale of the existing squad should Leeds miss out on promotion, as well as any redevelopment work to Elland Road is dependent on getting promoted to the Premier League. And on top of that, the demand is also dependent on that as well. Leeds have already been warned by several people in the industry that failure to get promoted to the Premier League would see a reduction in the people attending Leeds games from next season, and then the need for stadium development or growth of the stadium goes away with that as well. So there's a lot riding on the line this year, which is why the pressure is so high, which is why I think everybody's so on edge about what's happening towards the back end of this season. But more detail on that in a sec, because Ilia Gruev has been speaking with the Yorkshire Evening Post about some of the, I suppose, fan issues or concerns that we have. And Leeds dip informed this season is a very strong reminder of what we saw at the back end of last season, and everyone is on a tightrope right now to see, can Leeds bounce back from this and finish the season strong, or will Leeds fall apart again? Graham Smith in the YP today covered this, and he spoke to Ilia Gruev about the dressing room responses to the falling apart song and theory, as well as early kickoffs and mistakes made by individual players. Ilia Gruev sat down with the YP to talk about the current situation, and he doesn't believe that the 12:30 kickoffs have been an issue for Leeds United, and rubbished the idea that it could be a factor in the run into the season, despite the fact that the data suggests that Leeds do in fact struggle with the 12 o'clock kickoffs. Leeds will have Luton Town this weekend at 12:30, before then having to play Preston on 12:30, and the final day of the season they will have Plymouth Argyle away at 12:30. But Gruev insists it's not an issue. Illan Mellier's individual errors this season have cost Leeds United between 6 and 11 points, depending on what you want to look into this season. But on the individual mistakes, Gruev said the following: When you make an individual mistake, everyone knows it. You don't even need to speak about it because you know it was a mistake. It can happen to everyone. Every player in our squad has made a mistake in their career. It's not easy. You have to support your teammates. We have one goal, one big goal. You try and help them and you feel bad for them because you were in a group. It's a tough business to be part of. On the Leeds falling apart chant and theories, Gruev said the following: I like it. It motivates me when people want to see you down, or if you have to fight against adversity. I like that. It's not important for us. We have to concentrate on ourselves. What people are saying or not saying, we can't influence it. People can sing whatever they want. It doesn't have to impact you as a player. When you have a great run, everyone says you're the best. You have to remind yourself that this is a period in time and other times will come. You have to stay humble and work hard. It's a struggle. It's normal. Everywhere is like this. It's interesting to see that Gruev has said everywhere is like this, because a lot of players will talk about the atmosphere at Ellen Road and how tight and compact it is, and you hear everything that's being said about you. But it's interesting to see that he actually defines it as a motivational tool, and maybe he should be in the team for a couple of weeks. A bit more bite maybe is needed in there, but again, lots of conversations around who should and should not be in that middle of the park at the moment. So yeah, lots of more ground to cover, but interesting insight into what Gruev thinks about the dressing room's scenario and the theories surrounding the club. Let's move on to the one transfer link that we've got today. This relates to another goalkeeper. We did say there would likely be more goalkeepers added to the shortlist and covered in the rumour mill floating around the internet at the moment. But reports today suggest that Leeds United are considering a move for Chelsea shot stopper Georgi Petrovic. Leeds have been linked with Kieran Kelleher so far, as well as Aaron Ramsdale, to mixed reactions online, even just in the comments alone section here. But now Petrovic has been added to the list of names. The 25-year-old shot stopper signed for Chelsea for £12.5 million back in the summer of 2023. And although he had a short stint as the first choice keeper, he moved to Strasbourg, their sister club, on loan at the beginning of this season. Petrovic's age and the fact that Chelsea have been stockpiling goalkeepers for quite some time may mean that there's opportunities to bring the goalkeeper into the club should Leeds decide that they want it. But the bigger question will be, is this the right replacement or just another name on the list? And it's either way, it's a situation that is going to need to be addressed in the summer. And what Daniel Farke does around his goalkeeping position coming into the weekend will have a big impact on the fans' opinions on him and the team. Let's move on. Let's talk about a new head of recruitment for the academy. And Marcus Kavanagh has left his role at Arsenal and is heading to Leeds United as the head of North Recruitment. According to a post from the Training Ground Bulletin Board, Kavanagh has left Arsenal after 17 months to join the Leeds United Academy recruitment team. Moving forward, Kavanagh worked as an emerging talents scout focusing on players aged 14 to 21 in the northwest of the country for Arsenal from December 2023. Kavanagh will now join the existing and ever-changing backroom recruitment team at Leeds United, and we wish him all the success in his role, and hopefully he can find us some gems in the northwest of the UK to bolster Leeds Academy. The academy is the future of the club, and we, if he's successful, Leeds are successful. Let's move on and talk about a man that we don't really hear an awful lot from, and that's the man at the top of the tree, the man at the top of the 49ers, Jed York, insisting that there has been no further movement on the Glasgow Rangers purchase, and says whatever financial plan the company has, the two entities, Leeds and Rangers, will not overlap or impact on Leeds at all. York and his family own the 49ers, as well as being the lead investors in 49ers enterprises. And speaking with ESPN, York addressed some of the criticism around the 49ers' recent transfer inactivity, as well as the plans for Leeds and Glasgow Rangers combined. And he said the following: "We haven't done anything there. Leeds is obviously under the umbrella, but they are completely separate from the 49ers. Where we can tie brands together or sort of take our best practices of operating and things like that, we do. But in terms of financials, they don't overlap at all." York, in this interview, has made it very, very clear that Leeds United and the 49ers NFL franchise operate as two independent companies underneath the 49ers Enterprises umbrella, and Glasgow Rangers appear to be a third entity within that. 3 different pools of investment, 3 different sets of investors in those pools, and no overlapping from a financial or finances perspective, I should say, on that one. So it's an interesting one to hear. It's nice to hear from Jed York. He's been at Ellen Road a bit lately. He's been pictured in the director's area. Not someone you see very often there. As they say, he's very much at the top of the pile of all of this and keeping an eye, but he has been more ever present at Ellen Road in recent months. So one to keep an eye on there as well, coming into the summer, of what their plan will be, and depending on what Leeds do, where we go, and what they can and can't do. But we'll see what happens, folks. Back tonight at some point for a podcast or a preview for the game of the week, and we're still trying to sort out the 2 days. This week's been a bit of a mess, but we'll have that information out to you. And then the charity game coming up that the Leeds United content creators are getting involved in. We'll have some detail on that towards the back end of the week as well. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later on. See ya. Bye.